Yes, yes, yes. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Cyber Safety Net Stay Safe Online, episode 105, Protect Data with Bitlocker. My name is Anthony Germanos, and I will be your presenter today. And here's a spoiler alert. Bitlocker is a feature that came with Windows 10 and 11 that protects data on your hard drive. If somebody steals your hard drive and they don't have the Bitlocker Recovery Key, then they can't get to your data. So Bitlocker is a good thing. Today's presentation is sponsored by my fourth book, How Hacks Happen. In How Hacks Happen, there are two personas. There's me, Mark, the good guy, who wants to protect you. And there's Brad Cracker, the bad guy, who wants to rip you off. He wants to rip you off because he's good at it, he thinks it's easy, and he likes the easy money. If you viewed episode 102, you were introduced to the CIA Triad. And the CIA Triad explains why computer guys like me are employed. I tell clients I protect the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of your data, network, and reputation. And since we're talking about your hard drive and making sure people can't get to data after they steal the hard drive, I'd have to say this with, was that loud enough? Yes, I think so. Confidentiality, integrity, availability. If they steal your hard drive, they can't get to your data unless they have the 48-character recovery key. I'd have to say this falls within the confidentiality theater. Let's continue on. I'm going to share the screen again. When you look within Windows Explorer, you'll see all the drives that your computer sees, and that includes your C drive, which is running the operating system. Now, in this example, we see the C drive. We see that it's Bitlocker protected because there's a padlock, and we'll see that Bitlocker is enabled. Rather, the drive is unlocked. And I can tell it because the padlock is unlocked. So what happened is this hard drive has Bitlocker and the key is stored. Remember, it's a 48-character key. Either you type the 48-character key when you turn on the computer, or the key is stored within a chip on the motherboard called the TPM, or the Trusted Platform Module. I'm sure you're saying, well, I'd rather just store the key within that Trusted Platform Module. It's 48 characters, not fun. Yes, that makes sense. I had a client who turned on Bitlocker on computers, but he did not have the TPM key. Therefore, he had to back up all the keys onto a USB memory stick. And then, of course, give a USB memory stick to each user based on the computer that they used. A lot of extra work because he did not have the TPM key. When you back up the key, you can back it up either to a USB memory stick or you can print it. I usually save these as a PDF to a USB memory stick and print the key. This is a pretty dry screen, but what counts is the hard drive identifier, which is long and cryptic, and of course the Bitlocker Recovery Key, which is 48 characters long and also cryptic. Make sure you keep multiple copies of this. I print them and I give the printout to the client and say, you need to save this. Also, some people like to save this to another storage media. Remember, if you're backing up the key to your drive, don't save it on the drive, save it somewhere else. It's kind of like having the keys to your house, but you store them inside your house. And if you get locked out, you're locked out. This is the Bitlocker Recovery Key. It's a one-page text file, or you can save it as a PDF. When you look within File Explorer, you'll see all the drives available on your computer. Now, in this example, drive letter F is a drive I connected. Windows assigned it drive letter F, and it is BitLocker protected. When you first connect a drive, Windows will prompt you for the Bitlocker recovery key, but you can cancel that. However, you might want to get into the drive later. If so, right-click the drive, choose the unlock option, then type in the 48-character recovery key from back here. That's why I'm a fan of having a printout of this, and of course, saving the printout somewhere safe, as you may have to type it here. I have a movie that I created last year on Bitlocker. So you're watching a video on Bitlocker, and within that video, I'm embedding another video on Bitlocker. This one's 4.5 minutes, and while this is running, I will say nothing. I'm not sure how the sound will turn out, so if it's kind of goofy on your end, you have the key, you have the URL at the bottom. Here's the movie. Hey everybody, Mark Anthony Germanos. Today I'm presenting Microsoft Bitlocker, which is a feature in Windows 10 that lets you encrypt your hard drive. Sometimes we call this encrypting data in place, and sometimes we call it encrypting data at rest. We start in Windows Explorer. You right-click the drive you want to encrypt, which in this case is the C drive, and we choose Turn on Bitlocker. We decide where we want Windows to save the recovery key, and I choose to save to a text file. Microsoft is going to give this text file a rather cryptic name, which is a good thing, and I'll explain why in a minute. But for right now, let's just remember to save this key to somewhere besides the C drive. So I'm going to save it. Then Microsoft asks if I want to encrypt just the part of the drive that has data or the whole drive. I'm choosing option A, just the part of the drive that has data. In the next box, we get to choose if we want the new encryption mode or the old encryption mode. I choose new. We also have an option to run a system check, which is kind of like running a virus scan when we restart the computer. I turn the checkbox on and then restart the computer. So here comes a restart, and I'm about to launch the second video. We're back, and we're looking at Windows Explorer. We encrypted the C drive. You can tell C is encrypted because it has a padlock icon, and the padlock is open, which tells us that I provided the recovery key to get into the C drive. Actually, with this computer, it has a TPM chip, and that means Trusted Platform Module. It lets Windows automatically open the drive because the recovery key is stored on the motherboard. The C drive is encrypted, the E drive is not. The E drive is where we have the recovery key. So let's go to E and then take a look at the recovery key. This is a short or small text file. And remember when I was talking about the name being rather cryptic? That was a good thing because the drive identifier ends in D9E or Delta Niner Echo. The file name also ends in D9E or Delta Niner Echo. If you have a lot of recovery keys to keep track, putting the drive identifier in the file name makes life a lot easier. If you were to save this as a PDF, then you'd have to type the name out and figure out how to keep track of these. We also have a recovery key, and this recovery key is 48 characters, and it's all numerical, which is a good thing. Because if I take a drive out and connect it to another computer, I get prompted for the recovery key. And I know recovery keys are always 48 characters and they're only numerical. That's a good thing. It's also a good thing to make sure you do not store your recovery key with the actual computer. And that's because if somebody steals the computer, they have the computer and the recovery key. They would take out the drive, connect it to their computer, and then use the recovery key that was also in the bag to get into the drive. Make sure you store the recovery key away from the computer. That way, if somebody steals the computer, and they pull out the drive and they connect the drive to another computer, they can't do anything because they don't know that 48-character recovery key. Bitlocker. It's part of Windows 10 Professional, no extra cost, and of course, save your recovery key somewhere separate from the computer. Mark Anthony Germanos, stay safe out there. That was a good thing. If you do not have Bitlocker and you are running Windows 10 or 11, it's because you're running Windows 10 Home or Windows 11 Home. And the home versions of Windows don't have some of the security features, including Bitlocker. Also, if you have Windows 11 Pro, chances are that the setup wizard automatically turn on Bitlocker for you. But if you don't have that key backed up somewhere, it could actually work against you. So make sure that you back up your recovery key if you have Windows 11 Pro and you haven't bothered to turn on Bitlocker. It was already turned on for you. You know what? We are done. I know your time is valuable. I know there are other places you could have been, but you chose to be here. You chose to listen to me talk about encrypting data in place with Bitlocker. Thank you, everybody. Have a good day.